Hey, good morning, everybody. 10 Tampa Bay meteorologist Grant Gilmore here, just about 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Maybe you got a message on your phone. I got one. Several other little alerts going on for the tornado drill that is ongoing right now across the state, the statewide tornado drill as part of Severe Weather Awareness Week and the regular testing of the NOAA weather radios. So if you have a NOAA weather radio, you may have heard that alert going off, or maybe you got one of those push notifications from the county or from the state. Again, this is just a drill. This is where local governments, National Weather Service really encourage the schools, preschools, daycare centers, and businesses, of course, to participate in this drill. It's always a good idea to just look at the plan, talk about it, and make sure everybody involved knows generally what we're supposed to do when there's a tornado, or at least the threat for a tornado. And the most important thing is really just identifying that place in your building or in your home that is the safest place to go in the event of a tornado. Or maybe there's not a safe place. If you live in a manufactured home, maybe the safest place is going to be someplace else outside of your home, outside of your manufactured home, and maybe it would be running across the street over to a more sturdy structure. But these are all things that you have to identify and you have to look at on an individualized basis. Nobody's home, nobody's family needs are the same. Some families with elderly family members aren't able to mobilize as quickly, so they need to have a plan on how we can best get our family members into that safe place. Or maybe there's young children involved, and we have to have a good way to communicate with them and make sure they understand what's going on. So it's just a good time. Every year we like to use this week, this Severe Weather Awareness Week, to talk about it, to kind of refresh our memories and just put it at the forefront. So in the event that we have to jump into action when there is a tornado warning, hey, we're ready to do it. I mean, it's just like hurricane season, right? We have Hurricane Preparedness Week as we gear up for the hurricane season that starts in June, and then we're ready in the event of a hurricane like what we had last year. We had two hurricanes that came through, Hurricane Ian and then Hurricane Nicole. So the drill should be wrapping up now. If it hasn't already, they do an all clear, and then they say, okay, all right, everybody go back to business. That was just a test, no worries. But we showed this on the show this morning. It's kind of a cross section of a home. No doubt that none of our homes look like this, but you get the idea. Putting some X's and spots there where you aren't the safest places to be. If there's a tornado bearing down, you really don't want to be on that top floor. So oftentimes during tornadoes, we see those roofs get ripped off and debris flying around in those top floors. So, people are especially vulnerable there on those top floors. So that's not the place that you want to be. That's why if tornadoes hit at night, you want to make sure that you have that way to get an alert. Maybe your bedroom's on that top floor, so that if there is a tornado warning, you're able to then get down to that lowest floor. And then once you're on that lowest floor, find that innermost room, right? So in my house, it's a bathroom. I've got a bathroom in the center of my home. But maybe for you, it's a closet, or maybe it's the pantry or something like that, or maybe it's the stairwells. Anything that is going to be able to put as many walls in between you and that tornado, which is obviously on the outside of your home. It might be a little tempting to go out onto the porch or onto the lanai and look for the tornado. You say, oh, I see it's coming from the west. I want to look for it. I mean, I don't need to tell you that that's not the best thing to do, but we have to say it because ultimately we're going to get that wannabe storm chaser, right? That's out there trying to take video from the front or back porch, and sometimes that can be really dangerous. So we always say just get inside, get into that innermost room. If your home has a basement, most homes in Florida don't have basements, but then getting underground if there's a tornado coming, that is the safest place to be. If there's a flooding concern, that's a different story. But if it's just purely a tornado threat, then getting into that basement's the safe place to be. Just to go over the way that we categorize, or we rank tornadoes. Tornadoes are ranked on the enhanced Fujita scale, and these are all based upon estimated wind speeds that survey crews and the National Weather Service go out and survey. We typically don't have wind instruments or anemometers on the ground where the tornado touches down and where it strikes. So the National Weather Service has to go out after the threat has cleared. They'll look at the damage and they'll see things like what types of trees were damaged, how badly were they broken, were they just kind of bent or were they snapped in half, what types of damage did we see to structures and buildings, fences and that sort of thing, and the type of damage to the type of materials ultimately gives the National Weather Service a little bit of a guideline and a checklist to go through to be able to estimate the strength of those wind speeds, and then once they're able to determine, okay, these wind speeds were probably, say, up around 100 miles per hour, then they're able to determine, oh, well, if that's the case, we saw this type of damage to these types of structures and materials, then that is most like that was a 100 mile per hour tornado that would rank as a EF1 tornado, EF standing for that enhanced Fujita scale. And then you see, you just go down the line there, EF0 to EF5, similar to the categorization of a hurricane, right? Cat 1 to Cat 5, a little bit different in some respects, and how those numbers are determined and estimated, but still, you get the idea, right? It's the ranking based upon those wind speeds alone, not necessarily how big the tornado was or how long it was on the ground, but purely the estimated wind speeds that were found based upon the damage that it produced. So that is the enhanced Fujita scale. One thing that we also talked quite extensively about on Brightside this morning was understanding the differences between a tornado watch and a tornado warning. This is one of those things that we constantly have to try to remind ourselves and just update. Is it a watch or a warning that I have to be concerned about? And I'd argue that both you need to be aware of, and you need to understand what they both mean. Watch is just kind of like, all right, we're watching, we know today or tonight, and there's the possibility of a tornado or be it a severe thunderstorm or whatever that hazard is. But a tornado watch would be just when the conditions are favorable. You may have seen on social media a lot of times people share like, all right, so a tornado watch is like when you get all the ingredients for baking a cake or making a cupcake or a taco or something, right? You get all your ingredients together for a cake. You've got your flour, you've got your sugar, you've got your eggs, you've got your milk, you've got them all on the countertop. So all the ingredients are there, right? So in the case of a tornado watch, we have all the ingredients in the atmosphere, or at least they're expected to be present in the time that we have this watch. So if we've got a tornado watch that's in effect until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, then we know that there's going to be the threat for thunderstorms. There's going to be a fair amount of wind shear in the atmosphere, and there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere to help fuel those storms as well, and heat as well. So a lot of these ingredients all come together to then give us that potential. But when we have a warning, when the National Weather Service issues a warning, that's when we need to act. That's when here at 10 Tampa Bay, we're going to pop onto TV as quickly as possible to tell you about this warning and to tell you about it so you know that it's time to act. And even though that tornado may not be impacting your specific area, it's impacting somebody's neighborhood or somebody's street. And in which case they need to act and they need to seek shelter, get there as quickly as possible, and stay there until that threat has cleared. So that's the rough difference of them. They're a little bit different depending on if it's a flood watch, a flood warning, tornado, severe thunderstorm, so on and so forth. But generally speaking, watch means that conditions are favorable for said hazard to develop, and a warning means, all right, it's go time, let's act. Whatever that means, whatever it is that you need to do it. And in the case of a tornado, that means excuse me, to seek shelter, get to that innermost room. No worries about that today though, right? You're hard pressed to find a cloud in the sky, much less a tornado threat today. Really a great start to the day. It was nice, refreshing, borderline cool this morning. Looking out over Armature Works right now, you see the Adirondacks chairs out there, the chess floor, I guess. Not the chessboard, the chess floor over there with the palm trees. Just a pretty start to the day. It's going to be really nice this afternoon. We're already at 73 degrees. I mean, just fantastic looking weather out there today. The wind speeds are starting to pick up a little bit. Wind speeds closer to the water are there around 10 to 15 miles per hour. 14 there in Clearwater. So it's a little breezy close to the water today, and that wind is blowing around the pollen a little bit. I mean, I feel like everybody at some point is saying, yeah, I can feel that. Some of you I know you're saying like, yeah, my nose is running, my eyes are itchy, I've got the tickle in the throat. If you feel like you're starting to get sick, it very well could just be the allergies. I mean, the pollen is in full force. I'm starting to see it on cars a lot. It's like, do you wash your car? Do you wait for the rain to come? Do you just let it be? Just let the pollen do what it will do, and then in April we'll finally be able to wash things off. But at this point, I think we're on the front end of it. Probably gets worse before it gets better. So hang in there. All right, satellite and radar. Clearly, I mean, just showed you the sky there in Tampa. Blue skies, high pressure's in control. But this high pressure system's actually starting to move more out to the east. So it was just off the coast of Georgia, South Carolina yesterday. Now it's moving to the east and heading out towards Bermuda. It's still giving us the nice stable air and that southeasterly wind. So that's why we have a great day today. We'll have a nice day tomorrow. But this storm system that's brewing across the southern plains and stretching up into the Mississippi Valley is beginning to develop. Obviously, you can see that by all the rain. But this low pressure system is going to track in that direction right there. And then there's going to be another low pressure that will develop down here. And that one will track kind of in this direction too. And it will be that second low pressure system that will bring a cold front through here and eventually bring us our chance of rain. And then after that, it'll bring us the cooler temperatures that we'll see, unfortunately, for a good part of the weekend. So if you can, I know it's the middle of the week, got a lot going on from activities, meetings, work, what have you. But if you can, I would suggest, and I'm going to take my own advice, try to get outside and just soak up some of the sun, some of the warmth. It's nice to have out there. I mean, this time of year you get a lot of it, but it's nice. Low 80s this afternoon. There may be a sprinkle over on the East Coast out towards West Palm. We don't have to worry about it here. We'll be just fine. And then tonight, temperatures drop back down basically where they were this morning, upper 50s, low 60s around the region. And then tomorrow, I mean, just a repeat day like today. Low to middle 80s, maybe inland, mid 80s, 84, 85 degrees in Lakeland. Tampa's probably around 82, 83 degrees. Just really nice weather for the next couple of days. And then the cold front comes, right? There goes the low pressure system I was telling you about. This is the secondary one that'll be tracking up to the north. It'll bring that cold front in, and then it doesn't completely stall out, but it really slows down by Friday. It just sort of drops into the Florida Panhandle, North Florida, and it continues to move to the southeast, but it really slows down. A second low pressure system, really just a secondary boundary, if you will, back to the west, will develop. That system will reinforce our rain chances probably through Saturday. Not a guarantee, but likely just giving us mostly cloudy skies, spotty showers through the day on Saturday. It will be behind that second front where that coolest air will hang out, but just because of the rain and the cloud cover on Saturday, we'll probably stay in the upper 60s with temperatures. And then that second cold front there will merge, and we'll see a deepening low off the Carolina coast through Sunday. That really cranks up, could bring a decent amount of snow to portions of the Appalachians Sunday, really beginning Saturday night into Sunday. But that will allow the drier air at least to start to work in, so our skies will start to clear through Sunday, but that's that cooler, drier air coming in. So we'll probably be in the upper 50s and low 60s on Sunday, and then from there we'll start to warm back into the low 70s on Monday, and then we're rebounding quickly. I mean, it's just like quick jump back up to near 80 for the middle of next week. 82 for your high today. That's pretty much what we had yesterday afternoon. In fact, yesterday's high temperature was 81 with a morning low of 59. I mean, does it get better than that? Most likely doesn't. 7-day forecast, quick note just to mention, in addition to that rain on Friday and Saturday, still it'll be breezy too. So as into Saturday, I think it's rainy, breezy, kind of cloudy, not the best day. A little bit of a better day on Sunday, though. You'll have to trade the warmth out for that cooler temperature, 63 on Sunday. And then, like I told you, I mean, a quick rebound back into the upper 70s to near 80 on Tuesday. So just a little bump in the road. The timing of it has changed a little bit from what we talked about yesterday. Just the overall timing, not the best, because it looks like that chance of rain has sort of been shifted more into Friday evening and then into the day on Saturday. But maybe it's a case of, get your indoor work done, cleaning, chores, laundry, what have you, on Saturday, and then you'll have the opportunity to get outside and enjoy at least some of the sunshine on Sunday before we're back at it again next week. That is it for me, guys. Appreciate you hanging around and chatting with me a little bit. You guys have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we will be back here later this afternoon or tomorrow. You can always get information, weather information, news information on our website on 10tampabay.com, as well as, of course, our app. It is free to download. You'll just get great information. That's the only price, is free information. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Take care. We'll see you next time.